In 1960, the place you're looking at right now was a desert. There were no skyscrapers, no highways, no airports, just sand, heat, and a small fishing community living along a saltwater creek. Today, Dubai holds over $1 trillion in liquid private wealth. It is home to more than 86,000 millionaires, 251 people worth over $100 million, and 23 billionaires, in a city of just 3.5 million people. That means roughly 1 in every 51 residents of Dubai is a millionaire. But numbers like these are hard to grasp in the abstract. So today, we're going to put Dubai's wealth into perspective. And the story behind it is more surprising than you might think. To understand Dubai's wealth, you have to understand what it was before the wealth arrived. For most of the 20th century, Dubai's economy ran on pearling, diving for pearls in the Persian Gulf. It was hard, dangerous work, and it sustained a modest but functioning society. Then the Japanese invented cultured pearls. Overnight, the global demand for Gulf pearls collapsed. Dubai's primary industry was wiped out. Oil was discovered in the UAE in the 1960s. But here's the part most people don't know. Dubai's oil reserves were always small compared to its neighbor Abu Dhabi. Dubai got a taste of oil wealth, but it was never going to last. The rulers of Dubai, particularly Sheikh Rashid and later his son Sheikh Mohammed, understood this early. So they made a decision that would change the trajectory of the entire emirate. They would use the oil money not to sustain a comfortable present, but to build an infrastructure for a post-oil future. They dug out a world-class port. They built an airport designed to be a global hub. They constructed roads, hospitals, and free zones where foreign companies could operate with almost no restrictions. They were, essentially, building the hardware for a city that didn't fully exist yet. What came next was the software. Let's talk about scale. Dubai's GDP in the metro area is estimated at around $247 billion in 2025. That's roughly the same as the entire economy of New Zealand, or Portugal, packed into a city the size of Rhode Island. The UAE as a whole, which Dubai anchors, has a GDP approaching $1 trillion in purchasing power terms. That puts in the same conversation as countries like the Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, and Switzerland. But GDP is just production. The more striking number is private wealth, money that's actually sitting in the city, held by individuals. Dubai's total private wealth exceeds $925 billion, over $1 trillion in liquid assets alone. To put that in human terms, if you divided Dubai's private wealth equally among its population, every single resident, including children, tourists, and construction workers, would receive roughly $265,000. Of course, wealth isn't equally distributed anywhere. In Dubai, it's highly concentrated. But that concentration is precisely what makes a city function as a global wealth magnet. And that magnet is getting stronger every year. In 2025 alone, the UAE attracted an estimated 9,800 new millionaires. That's the highest net inflow of millionaire migrants of any country on Earth. Not just this year. Any year, for any country ever recorded. So, why do the world's wealthy keep moving here? The obvious answer is taxes. Dubai has zero income tax, zero capital gains tax, zero inheritance tax. If you make $10 million in a year in Dubai, you keep $10 million. Compare that to UK, where a top earner pays 45% income tax plus national insurance. Or the United States, where federal and state taxes can take close to half your earnings. Or France, where the top marginal rate exceeds 60%. For someone earning tens of millions a year, moving to Dubai isn't just financially smart, it's transformative. The difference can compound into hundreds of millions over a lifetime. But it's not only taxes. The infrastructure has become genuinely world-class. Dubai International Airport is the busiest in the world for international passengers. The DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center, hosts over 8,000 registered companies and has its own independent legal system based on English common law. There are 168 international schools, more than any other city on Earth. The healthcare system ranks among the top globally, and safety statistics consistently place Dubai among the lowest crime rate cities anywhere. The Golden Visa program, introduced in 2019, offers 10-year renewable residency to anyone investing around $550,000 in property. You can own a business with 100% foreign ownership. You can set up a family office with legal protections equivalent to those in Geneva or Singapore. In short, Dubai engineered itself to be the most frictionless place on Earth to be wealthy. And the wealthy noticed. Where does Dubai actually sit among the world's wealthiest cities? New York still holds a top spot, 384,500 millionaires, 66 billionaires. Tokyo is third, with 292,000 millionaires. Singapore fourth, with 242,000. Dubai sits around 18th globally by millionaire count, but it's the fastest mover. Its millionaire population has grown by over 100% in the last decade. London's has declined. More tellingly, in the 2025 Savills Global Wealth Destination Rankings, which look at where the wealthy choose to live, not just where money is held, Dubai ranked number 1, above New York, above Singapore, above Hong Kong. That distinction matters. There's a difference between a city that holds wealth and a city that attracts it. Dubai is increasingly both. The origins of these migrants tell a story about global politics as much as economics. Since the Ukraine war, thousands of wealthy Russians have relocated here, drawn by a city that doesn't impose sanctions and doesn't ask questions. Wealthy Indians come for the business ecosystem and proximity to home. Britons come to escape rising tax pressure. Mainland Chinese come for the financial freedom. It would be incomplete to tell this story without acknowledging the contradictions. The construction that produced the skyline was built by migrant workers, mostly from South Asia, working in conditions that have been widely criticized by human rights organizations. The kafala sponsorship system, which historically tied workers' legal status to their employer, created documented cases of exploitation. The UAE has introduced reforms in recent years, including limits on working hours in extreme heat and changes to the visa system. But independent observers note that enforcement remains inconsistent. There's also the political dimension. Dubai's wealth operates within an autocratic framework. There is no democracy, no free press, no independent judiciary in the Western sense. The freedoms that attract business and capital are economic, not political. For many who move there, that trade-off is acceptable. For others, it isn't. But any honest account of Dubai's rise has to hold both things at once. Dubai's official economic agenda, known as D33, has one central goal: double the size of the economy by 2030. The IMF projects 5% GDP growth for the UAE in 2026. In a world where most developed economies are managing less than 1%, that's remarkable. The global wealth transfer expected over the next 2 decades is staggering. An estimated $124 trillion will change hands as the baby boom generation passes wealth to the next. Dubai is actively positioning itself to capture as much of that flow as possible. The DIFC 2026 Global Wealth Outlook report identifies Dubai as a premier destination for that incoming capital. Family offices, private banks, and investment firms are all expanding their presence here. In 60 years, Dubai went from a creekside fishing settlement to one of the wealthiest cities on earth. It did so not by accident and not purely by luck. It did so by design, by a leadership that looked at a desert and chose to build something extraordinary in it. Whether you see Dubai as an inspiration or a cautionary tale, or both, it is undeniably one of the most striking economic experiments of the modern era. A city that bet on itself when no one else would, that built its wealth not from the ground, but from the movement of people, capital, and ambition from every corner of the world. And it's not finished yet.